I wake up and I decide I'm going to just make a kolam. That's the part of the ritual. It makes it more fulfilling for me. It's that 1 hour of actually making the kolam, which is telling me a story that this is life. And this day is gone. The sun is also going through a path, and tomorrow it's going to be another new day. When you're down and you're on the ground, you're bending across, you're connecting to Mother Earth in many ways. We're having a wedding ceremony. We have to draw this particular kind of kolam where we invoke the divine.
Today's guest on the Sadhaks of Sadhana show is Ms. Hema Kannan. Ms. Hema Kannan is the founder of the Lotus Shakti, and the Lotus Shakti does a very unique thing. It actually propagates a very ancient, almost kind of a lost art form, which is the form of drawing kolams or rangoli. Namaste to everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of our show, Sadhaks of Sadhana. Sadhaks of Sadhana brings you stories of real sadhaks and their real stories. Real sadhaks with their real stories. Sadhaks of Sadhana is our show on the Vedic Sadhana Foundation's official YouTube channel, where we bring you interesting experiences and perspectives of sadhana by practicing sadhaks and more. And thank you to everyone who joined us for the powerful Navdurga Sadhana and now the Mahashivratri, the Shakshari Sadhana. As some of you know, the sadhanas on the Sadhana app are, many of them have been lost to us, but Vedic Sadhana Foundation helping to revive all the sadhanas and bringing it to everyone in an authentic manner, sourced from the Vedas. My name is Devi Shobha Chandramouli. I am your host and also a sadhak and part of the Vedic Sadhana Foundation's core team. And it brings me so much pleasure, so much joy to be here before you presenting the Sadhaks of Sadhana show. Throughout the show, we will bring you perspectives of other sadhaks walking the path of sadhana. And we hope to strengthen our practice of sadhana together and grow stronger as a community, and a community that has the same shared goal, which is to get more people to realize the beauty and the potential of a great treasure, which is sadhana. Also, as many of you know, the Vedic Sadhana Foundation is an ATG approved not-for-profit organization dedicated to reviving the beauty and glory of the Vedas and making it accessible to everyone. Through transformative programs and our flagship app Sadhana, the foundation reconnects individuals with their cultural roots, serving humanity through the way of Sanatana Dharma. So, Hema ji, welcome very much to our Sadhaks of Sadhana show, and this is a great pleasure to have you here. And really, this show, in this episode, we really want to focus on your journey as a sadhak and how pursuing this art form as a sadhana has helped you intensify your own practice of sadhana. And I also know that you are a devoted user of the Sadhana app as well, and you have also shared your experiences about how sadhana, or how the sadhanas, the flagship sadhanas on the Sadhana app has also helped your sadhana on the path of Kolams and everything. So today we will talk about all of that. But first, a hearty welcome and an immense thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much again. It's a great pleasure talking to you all, and especially when it is about Kolam and sadhana.
Yes, absolutely. So why don't we begin with sharing your journey about how did you begin, how did you discover that this is your path, and where has it led you, how did you feel about it throughout the evolution of your path? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, evolution is a good word because I'm still growing on this path of a Kolam journey. I call it a Kolam journey. For me, Kolam has been a part of my life since childhood because it was taught to me by my grandmother, and my mother is my biggest inspiration. But it always takes a back step when your family grows and you move from city, from a regular simple lifestyle to a city where you have living in apartments and there is no threshold to draw. So you have to draw in the small space, and people do not appreciate it. They erase it and go away. So yes, that was a big break for me in kolam making, regular kolam making as a sadhana. But yes, it was part of festivals. It was part of all the celebrations. Anything at home we did, then Kolam was always part of it, and I loved doing Kolams at that time. Then in about 2013-14, I saw my mom was like 60 and she was making Kolams every day. I just happened to go one evening to her place and I saw her drawing in the notebook. I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm just planning the kolam for the next day because it's Margari starting from tomorrow and I have to make kolam." I said, "You make kolam every day?" No, Margari is very special. You have to do kolams, good kolams every day. It's like you've done kolams for the entire year. And it struck me, why am I not doing this? Why don't I start this, with Margari on December 16th? So I told her, whatever kolam you do, I'm a little blank right now. Just take a picture and send it to me, and I will do the same thing at my threshold. Maybe, I will be inspired to do or give me, tickle those brain cells into creating something on that. So that's how it happened first 4 days. And Facebook was very new to me, and I posted it. And there's no looking back after that. Once the month was complete, I was hooked. I said, I'm not going to stop now. It's not just only Margari. It's a process that every day it builds positivity within me, carries me through the day positively. And when I share it at my home, there is some sort of positivity. My friends who have been part of watching this, they are also getting those vibes. Should I stop such an activity? So after that, the journey has been just moving ahead.
Amazing. So you could definitely say that doing these kolams or drawing these kolams every day is like deepening your spiritual practice, grounding connection with yourself. So tell us a little bit more about how you choose your kolam and how you go through the process of which one to choose for which day, and generally what are your specific decisions regarding the kolam of the day and things like that. How does that hold significance for you, the process?
Best things I don't plan it in advance because that's what life is. It really never works according to plan. Then you'll be disappointed. I wake up and I decide I'm going to just make a kolam. That's the part of the ritual. Then once I go and I've cleaned my threshold, I'm working on what would I feel like, what would be the size, how much time I have, and what's the kind of kolam I feel that I can speak through. I then go about it. And of course, there are many kolam artists who inspire me. I might have seen a pattern and I want to build on it or work around it or try something like that. Or if it is a pradosham or if it is some specific event of the day. For now, for Durga, Nav Durgas, I have made, for Navratri, I've made Nav Durgas. So it's all a specific prayer. It all depends upon the day and just comes out from within. It's a
Great, awesome. Thank you for explaining that. And I'm also curious because obviously there's a lot of effort involved in making the kolam. You have to choose the design, you have to sit. It's probably hours of making the kolam. Then you have to fill the design. Then I don't know. Then there's a sense of accomplishment, and then the kolam has a very specific nature. It is very transient, and by the next day it's gone. How do you feel about that?
Yes, I've been asked this many times. It takes hours when I'm making a big one and working out through the pattern. The accomplishment is there when I complete it, but it's the journey that makes me more it makes it more fulfilling for me. It's that 1 hour of actually making the kolam. It's the vision or the way I'm drawing the lines, the winding path, which is telling me a story that this is life. And this day is gone. The sun is also going through a path, and tomorrow it's going to be another new day. Like that, tomorrow is going to be another new kolam. You make a mistake in the kolam, it's okay. You are going to erase it, you get another chance the next day. So it's like that. The nature of the kolam is letting it go. So I don't hold on to the pattern. It has taught me that just like something that I create, I have to let go. I cannot keep small incidences that may bring down my energies. It's no use, keeping them within me. You have to let it go. that's why it's brought a big change in my life. Yes.
Yeah, so you kind of extend it to other areas of your life as well, and see the joy and the burden lessening, right? With that kind of mindset, kind of percolates into everything. So amazing. So just curious, what kind of meditative techniques or spiritual practices do you follow when you do your Kolam practice?
There are no meditative techniques as such, but I believe that when I'm making a kolam, nowadays I'm taking videos of making kolam, but for the past so many years, people would ask me, please take a video, share a video of the kolam making. It's not possible to be under a camera to do when it is your act of your spiritual act or your meditative process. So it's during this kolam making that I prefer not to be talking to anybody, just being involved in the process of making, not be distracted by things happening around you. These are the only techniques. Yes, there may be phone calls, there may be visitors. I might have to pause, but that does not mean I have to get irritated or upset that yes, there is a pause. I'll have to take a pause, take a break to it, but come back to it where I left it off without losing that connection. Because when you're down and you're on the ground, you're bending across, you're connecting to Mother Earth in many ways. So it's a connection you don't want to give up. So that's my process of sadhana, the spiritual connect that I have when I'm making the kolam.
Amazing. I think you mentioned a very important point that it's very important for us as an internal mental state to keep the connection going, despite the many interruptions that happen. And this is true even for other forms of sadhana, even for any kind of sadhana, right? Even work, right? It's totally upon us, and I think we have to make that effort to.
Yes. How much ever I try to find out what could be the history, whether there are any historical, the beginning of kolam or what, but I just think our humans were born with the ability to draw. You see those men, cave drawings, and any expression, anything that you could not speak, either people would act or draw it out on the sand. So the sand art existed a long time ago. I'm sure it came with it was like another mean of communication. Over a period of time, you have mention of it even in the epics. I think it is Draupadi who draws on the stove when she's cooking for everybody. So there has been such mentions of Kolam, Ayodhya being decorated when Ram returns from war, all with a lot of rangoli. So it sort of became part of a celebration. It was more colorful in the north. It was more white and red in the south. It was flowers in the Kerala. So various means of doing different patterns on the floor became a part of a celebration. And then it's also, as always I mention in my classes, it's transdisciplinary. So there is a lot of math, logic, geometry, it's a sacred geometry, everything is involved, as well as a connection to astronomy. So it's a prayer, with the planet revolutions. There is a kolam connect to that too. So there is a lot of historical connection and traditions with our country, and our Vedas also mention it. So
yes, absolutely. It's really interesting. Any cultural roots or traditions that make the history of Kolam interesting. Would you be able to discuss any of those?
That brings me to one more small point that I just remember when you said the divine connect. A biggest part of our tradition while we are having a wedding ceremony, we have to draw this particular kind of kolam where we invoke the divine, because a wedding is considered to be a union of the divine, Parvati or Parmeshwar together, or Vishnu and Lakshmi. So when you actually are drawing a kolam and you're bringing the bride and groom, you're invoking the divine. That's why it's drawn at the spot where the homam is conducted, around which the bride and groom sits. So that is the biggest traditional connect of kolam. I would say, like even now, how much ever people may not follow, not do on their thresholds, they definitely do it at such times.
Great. Actually, it's very interesting because you mentioned Margari, right? One of the important or the significant details in the Tirupavai, Tiruvambavai songs, right, that Anda herself has made, right? She does mention the columns, right? So when she says, when you are drawing the column, invoke Mahavishnu. When you're washing your front yard, invoke Mahavishnu. So I think that itself shows so much history and dates the art of Kolam back so far back, right? So yeah, and then you mentioned Draupadi. I didn't know this. It's very interesting. So yeah, I think our culture is very beautiful that way, because I think we are a culture who believe in celebrating life in very small integral ways, like Kolam, maybe even prasadam, because we kind of believe that whatever we consume has to be offered, and we never, I think the foundation of this is that we never think divine is separate from us. I think that was one of the founding facets of this.
For me, the biggest plus point of having the Sadhana app is my grandmother passed, and I never had the opportunity to spend a lot of time with her listening to stories, or she's teaching me a lot of these spiritual activities. When we moved from south to Maharashtra, a lot of our cultural practices only belonged to festivals. So all the puja, all the celebrations was just limited to that, that much only. So the daily sadhana, the daily prayer, I'm not really aware of it. I am trying to find my cultural roots in various ways through my Kolam art. So when this app came up, it gave me so much of freedom to do when I can do, how to do it, and having a guru. Like I regretted not being able to have a guru for me who would come and teach me how to say. Now here is this guru just willing to speak and say on my behalf. And by the end of the fifth or the sixth day, I'm able to repeat this, and I'm doing this meditative process without the pressure of having to perform well, because this is just within my own home, me and my guru who is at the screen, and I don't have to make all the prasadam, make the preparations. All I have to do is light a lamp and do namaskaram, listen to it, if possible chant with it, in fact even make my kolam at the same time. It gives me the sense of accomplishment that I have done this prayer for the day, I have done this ritual while doing my meditative process at the same time. So I'm not missing out. It's not like I'm not doing because I don't know. Now I have somebody to guide me. So, and there was no time restraint. You can do it. Okay, if you missed today, you can do it tomorrow, or you can. It's not like you have to wake up at 5 a.m. and do it. Maybe if it's 6:30 a.m. and you want to do it at that time, somebody's come, put a pause to it and say, "Let me finish this and come." You're not hurting that person. So it's so much more flexible, so much more guiding, and I'm in love with this app for that reason.
Thank you. Absolutely amazing. And really, I know you have done these. I met you, in fact, at a Kolam workshop, the Ramayana Kalpa Vriksha, and I know that you've done a lot of these things. And that's how your journey with the Sadhana app also started, probably. How did you feel when you used the Sadhana app, while doing your Kolam practice? I think for the first Navdurga Sadhana, you did that. And it was an amazing experience where you drew the faces of the Navdurgas and shared it. How was your experience using the Sadhana app along with this already meditative practice of invoking the artist within you, connecting with the divine with this practice? How did that feel?
Okay. So I'm very excited with the Shakshari Sadhana going on, because I remember during last Adhik Mas, and I took a sankalp for 30 days, and when it was over, I said, oh no, I'm missing out. And I asked you said, no, you continue, you go ahead and do it, it's all right. So I'm so glad I have this another opportunity to, chant again. It's a beautiful experience.
Thank you so much for saying that. And do you still use the Sadhana app every day when you're doing your practice?
Yes, there has been a small gap when I moved from there,
Mhm.
but now I am doing it every day, especially the Navdurga coming up and everything. Yes, I'm enjoying it. It's a daily process now.
Thank you so much, Hemaji. I think that is what we all are striving for. We all want to find that one simple thread that can keep us connected to the divine. So it could be something like, we had another guest who was also doing Swadhyaya and doing it as a writing practice, right? So that could be a creative expression. I think all creative expressions are expressions of the divine inspiration that we get, right, from some source. And I think you're very blessed that way. Yes, absolutely. And really, I want to thank you for your time here with the Sadhaks of Sadhana show, and for inspiring so many of us to take up, and to have the courage and to have the energy, have the passion to pursue something creative in all of us. I'm sure everyone has a streak of that creative impulse in all of us, right? So thank you so much for that. And to everyone viewing, I would like to say, please, if you have not started on the Dashakshari Sadhana, if you have not started on any sadhana, it is never too late. Just like Hemaji mentioned, if you miss today, tomorrow is another day. You can always begin, because the divine is all pervasive. They are always available. We just have to reach out, right? We just have to start. We have to begin. And I think with that, we have already taken a big step. And to all the viewers, you please, our request is that you begin using the Sadhana app and see the benefits for yourself. And the next episode, we'll be back with another wonderful guest on the Sadhaks of Sadhana show, who will also share real story on their real sadhak part. Thank you so much.